This is real live, by the way. Anyway,
Hello, hello. You know, we're like in the Pavlov Star Trek. We both know some stuff about it, but don't know what it really is. The very last day, Stuart, the very last moment before we have seen Stranger Worlds is today.
yes, I know.
We cannot
Tomorrow
ever go
is the
back
day.
to the pre-Stranger Worlds time. So savor it, Stuart, because this is it. Then our lives will change forever as we see Hunky Pike and hopefully not even much of Emo Spock. And boy,
Chuck Jones in the chat keeps insisting it's coming out May 6th, so on Friday, but no, it's tomorrow.
and I gotta say that one of the things that obviously we look for in thumbnails is images, and they've released the trailers on their website, and then people have taken them off in low quality other places as well as like their Instagrams. They've not released unlike Picard, a proper high quality trailer on their site for some reason. However, they've done an immaculate amount of press photography dedicated, which they've released in high res to Trekyards and such. So the amount of press material is the most. Discovery never did this. Picard definitely never did this. It's really like, stuff like this. It's like, wow, that's a shot. Obviously, they were able to then just they were shooting season 2, so they can just quickly go and jump onto the set and we'll take some quick pictures. So that, whereas Picard, they were stopped filming by the time it released, etc. So it's a little bit different situation, but it's really nice to see such like a plethora of we like our cast. You compare Discovery where you still don't even know the names of everybody, and then this one's like, here is all the individual close-ups of everyone in all the different sets, and while the sets are always out of focus and you can't tell, the characters really are like, it's very distinct feeling already. That's been the biggest strength I think so far.
Indeed. 34 of you here, 24 likes. Hit like, guys, and go vote on the poll. There's a poll up and running.
I'll read it though.
He's gonna read it. There you go.
Yeah. Are you excited for Strange New World tomorrow? Hell yeah, not at all. I'm excited but worried, or I'll probably won't be watching. Vote now or forever hold your vote.
That's right.
Oh gosh, Donnie's right. We have Picard, Stranger Worlds, and Halo.
Yep, and then Obi-Wan Kenobi's just around the corner.
Well, that I'm excited for. Not I'm saying not excited for the other ones, but that I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Dear me.
Yeah. General Grievous, first super chat of the day.
Boom.
First strike slot. $2. I want to be excited, but Akiva is in charge, so fingers crossed. Yeah, it's kind of that tempered excitement.
In general, I actually talked about you today with a Star Trek alumni about the prodigy Grievous, and then you being Grievous, and the funniness of it. So I had a brief chat about that today. Oh, so I thought of you because you're our Dreadnought.
You should change your name to like Commodore Dreadnought. That's what you should do.
It's pretty good. Yes, $5 to you. All right, I will. So sure.
Good share. Yeah. I'll talk to you guys. Super chats are a great way to get in and help us out, as well as get your voice heard. We want to hear your ideas, your story ideas, things we can talk on and expand upon and theorize on, and come up with good stories, hopefully, that they might include. So I look forward to hearing from some of you guys via super chat, because we do read those all on the air, which is really important. So if you're able to, please do. General was already got that first super chat strike in there. So another way to help us out, of course, is by hitting like. We have 50 people here right now with 31 likes. Let's try to get those likes up to 50. If you haven't hit like yet, please do so. And we'll get into this conversation in just a minute. You can also join us on a monthly basis by heading over to Patreon/Trekyards and helping us out there, or by clicking that join button, which is right beside the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, what's wrong? Hit that subscribe button. Turns out about 40% of the people that watch our stuff aren't subscribed. So what the heck, man? Subscribe. But you can help us out on a monthly basis as well by joining the channel. It's a little like a subscription, like Patreon. It's a once a month thing, and hitting that join button is a good way to do that. You get a rank, you get your name highlighted, so we see your comments a little bit easier. You get a badge beside your name that changes with however long you've been here, and there's many different ranks that you can get as a result of that. So hit that join button and see if that's an option for you to help us out once a month. If you can't super chat on a regular basis, that would, a little bit goes a long way, and it does help the algorithm as well, and let YouTube know that you guys are interested enough in the channel that you want to be subscribed. So consider subscribing. So yeah, and you know all the other stuff. There's stuff down in the description. Go check all that stuff out. And Samuel's back with me.
Hello.
Hello.
Tomorrow. Now this is unlike all the other shows. We can actually do this because, whereas you look at a Picard or Discovery, if you don't know episode 1, there's a story. You can't even guess episode 8. You know all the curveballs. In this, obviously, it'll be episodic, and they've shown a lot of graphics of being diverse worlds. So we can actually have this what if. And ponder for season 2 even, because they are making more, and if they're smart, they'll lay threads. It's unlikely this show, even if it somehow got bad ratings, bad in the relative sense, they're not going to get a third, probably even 4th season. I pretty much guarantee a 3rd season, and then probably a 4th at the very least. So they can. I mean, you think they have the confidence to say let's sprinkle in those little thematic clues. Well, we have a story that we want to do. We want to build up these other characters first. Let's plant threads. So I'm seeing it kind of like they have confidence. Discovery's already, will they be renewed? Picard got 3 from the straight get-go, so we knew they had 3. This, I'd be shocked if they didn't think they have at least 4.
You make a good point, though, that it's hard to theorize on the other shows because of the serialized storytelling. But with episodic, so much is possible. So,
especially if
it's returning back to its true form for Star Trek with the episodic,
Yes.
Ozzy Medeiros throws in $2, and it will be hammer time.
It will. There he is. So is there anything that...
Hi. Ozzy throws in $2 and says, and it will be hammer time.
Yes, indeed. Yes. So when I suggest this topic, anything that straight away stood up to you as, I'd love to see this?
No.
Okay.
I want to see more of the fleet. I want to get introduced to some of the other Constitution class ships. I think that'd be fun to see. Even some of the ones that got destroyed in like the Ultimate Computer, meet their captains, and get that kind of story. I don't know. I'm sure you guys will generate some ideas and we'll have some good discussions, but not a lot popped into my head because I know the one thing I did want is to perhaps be introduced to Bones like before he comes on board, kind of on another ship maybe, and it looks like he might be in one of the scenes. We're not 100% sure. Yeah. But seeing stuff like that would be kind of cool.
But I mean, stories-wise, though. I mean, seeing Bones could be just a story by itself, but that is one small part of a larger narrative. See, the annoying thing for this is that instantly I say Tholians and Gorn, but you can't meet the Gorn, and Tholians is tricky because Spock has a lack of knowledge in TOS. He has to not be on the ship, and Uhura as well. So because they've pigeonholed themselves before, all the races that we want to see, they can't meet properly. But those are the ones I want to see in this era,
I thought in Tholian Web, Spock was like, they're known for their punctuality, like he does know about them.
Well, he knows about them in a technical sense, but he doesn't feel as if he's got personal experience. As often in TOS, they sort of meet them for the first time, even if they're reputation. So, yes, you could have that, but then you have to retcon the vibe. But I mean, if they're retconning TOS in general, who cares? I mean, honestly, if they don't care, who cares? We might just get a Tholian big thing. There's clearly some trailer stuff that implies Tholians. And, a Gorn-like creature that's small. I said that before. I mean, but that's, those two things are so, for me, iconically TOS, and the most interesting of the creature variations, but it's tricky to pigeonhole them beforehand without doing, the Borg a la Enterprise, where there's no records remaining, or they just don't it won't matter. They just do them anyway. Which, you know, if it's his own thing, then hey, yeah. So I'd like to see Gorn. I'd like to see evolving of their culture and explain why they make kebab shops in lower decks. You know, get us to that point.
Yeah, that is the one thing I thought of that would be nice to see. Dr. Daystrom installing new systems of the Enterprise, the Duotronics.
Daystrom a good one.
Jeff Budd says the Gorn were in Enterprise. No, they were in Mirror Darkly, which was the Mirror Universe.
Yep.
Yeah, they were working with the Tholians, and one of them got on board the Defiant when it crossed over. So
yeah, they
yes
could do
and
whatever
no.
they wanted, so they did that. They did both races that you couldn't really do. That's why it helps to be sort of encyclopedic of your lore knowledge, because you think they are, but they're not. But they are, but they're not. So they go away with it.
Well, I think, like I said, that's the one that popped into my mind earlier this afternoon. Was Dr. Daystrom just working on the Duotronic systems, talking about the future upgrades to the fleet. That'd be kind of neat, actually.
Was super neat, and he had such a lot of potential. I mean, a lot of the guest stars had really good potential in the show.
Talking about his M1 computer.
No, exactly.
It'll be perfect.
Yeah, but I can see him being played very professional and straight on the goal, and then before he goes into the extremes will be really fun as a guest star to kind of help them repair, re-engineer, improve Enterprise. Yeah, that'd be good. And, you know, another character we know, but they can recast, do something different with it. I don't remember a vibe either way as Spock knowing Daystrom, but
well, everybody knew about Daystrom because he was so famous, so it's not really clear who met him and who didn't or whatever.
But also, Spock isn't necessarily innately interested in just raw computers. I wouldn't say, like, he's technically minded doesn't mean, like, that's more an engineering thing.
I can see Hammer geeking out about meeting Daystrom for sure.
Or like he calls up his old friend Daystrom for advice. Yeah, and it's, that'd be an obvious one. Yeah.
Yep. Chuck A, $2. Jonathan Frakes just finished directing in season 2. Well, that's good to hear. Hope for some good Star Trek feels from Jonathan Frakes. And General Grievous, $2. I want to see more Gorn. Past TOS, nothing there. Yeah, the Gorn are just awesome, even in Starfleet battles and Starfleet Command, just to see them included there. I always wanted to know more about the Gorn, so yeah, that's on my radar as something that would be cool. How they're going to handle that, I don't know. They'll probably mess it up, but you know, if we get to see Gorn, I'll still be happy.
Well, you can have like Gorn raiders that don't actually say who they are, which is like, you know, there's so few ways around that, relatively speaking. Well,
they kind of did that in Enterprise with the Ferengi.
Yes,
yeah.
But it'd be fun if a Gorn ship just, you know, attacks them because they're you know, scavengers or border people, and they are so disinclined to communicate that we get to see their Gorn because of an interior shot, but they never know. Very much like Bounce Terror in a sense, and that'd be kind of interesting if they did go, you know, CG or even practical Gorn somehow. Balance of Terror, but for the Gorn's perspective, and how different it would be, how their mindset is, you know, burn them all, and the Romulans is like, how do we hide in this comet? That could be kind of fun.
Yeah. I think it'd be interesting too to have a Prime Lorca episode where they hear a distress call, they go and answer it, and find out that he's somehow survived, and that'd be kind of cool. Did you hear that?
Yes. It's funny, I didn't consider that, but I should have put money on if you were going to mention Prime Lorca. Because I didn't, but he'll be a nice guy and you'll be disappointed, because Prime Lorca is the opposite of other Lorca, so he'll be nice.
No, he's a hard ass still. He's still a hard ass, and I'll still like him.
But it'll be lovely, just a spring chicken of pleasantness. So he could be. That's interesting.
Yeah, regardless, I'm gonna like him, so it's fine.
Yeah. Except you've always got him, if he escapes the Mirror Universe, then he could probably be very dark from that. You know, he ruined his soul by having to fight in the Mirror Universe for, 7 years at this point? 4 or 5 years? Yeah. 3 years maybe. No, more than that would be... Yeah, many years. I mean, yeah. So he could be basically the same Lorca, just nature versus nurture. Nature, evil Lorca was evil. Nurture, our Lorca had to become evil in the Mirror Universe, and that's why he's mean dick.
One thing I think we're going to see that I don't necessarily want to see
How many Quatlus do you want to put in it?
Quite a bit. I'll put 3 million Quatlus.
Okay, guys, get ready.
I think we're going to see Giorgio show up for a Section 31 mission, probably confiscating the Enterprise to do some kind of covert ops or something, and there's going to be friction between her and the crew because she's taking the ship into a dangerous situation, can't tell them anything. So I think there's going to be a Section 31 crossover or a setup for Section 31 show of some sort, assuming that's ever going to be a thing. But I mean, it's a pretty safe bet you're going to see Giorgio show up at least once in Strange New Worlds. So, not that I want that, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a tricky one. I think if that was to happen, it'd be an end of season 2 or start of season 3 thing, because they are going to be very keen to set their own show, episodic, not linked to that stuff yet, build into it, and because they'll want to wait for Picard to finish its run so they can have an open slot in the production slate. They don't want to start a 6th show, and Michelle, whatever her name is.
Yo.
Michelle, yeah, thank you. She's very, very busy with other things, and a TV show is like 6 months to 8 months out of the year, so she probably isn't available for at least another year. So it wouldn't be, even if she was, cameoing in season 2 or guest starring, you'd have to be very obvious. This is now the setup to that show. But if that show's then 3 years away, then there'll be all momentum gained will be lost entirely, because you know what I mean. So you'd want to time that well in the show, possibly, but yeah.
Well, that being said, they could bring Ash Tyler back as well as part of Section 31. So,
yeah.
Maybe they have a run-in with the Klingons. They needed somebody that's specialized in Klingons, so they call in Tyler. I don't know. Lots of good ideas for sure that they could do with that, I think, but we'll see. Somebody mentioned the Cetaceans, bringing the Cetaceans. I'd like to learn more about them as well, like MRES, her people. I think that'd be awesome.
That's true. Yeah. Well, if they've got CGI budget introducing animated, although that's tricky because they've decanonized it even further, but then bring them in. But they do what they want.
I like how it was first like some of the episodes of the animated series are canon, most aren't. Oh, wait a minute, CBS has it now, so it's all canon. Oh, wait a minute, now it's not canon. It's like, holy shit, make up your minds, guys.
Well, that's the individual, yeah. Each individual team wants their own thing.
I don't know. Did you have anything that immediately jumped out to you when you came up with this idea? Like, I'm sure this is something you probably thought.
Like I said, Gorn and Tholian instantly. Like, deep diving. Yeah. You can Tholian. Even maybe have the first meeting with a Tholian. That'd be, well, I guess Enterprise technically, but did they necessarily know too much? We have our first political intrigue with Tholians.
That was also Mirror Universe, though. Nope. So
season 1, they go off for the temporal, they go after Silex
stuff.
Oh,
that's right.
And yeah. That's why we have the, anyway. So that, I think Tholians will be really strong because they're fully CG, they're very diverse in that you can do lots with them potentially. They represent TOS, but you can easily modernize them without too much hassle. There's less set in stone there. You can imagine they have more art designs, etc. And it's political stuff, Klingons, obviously, I want to see some Klingon stuff. Real Klingons, real Klingon vibe. D7 changed tweets a little more to be Katinga-esque. I mean, we were talked to Ryan Denning. The nacelles are the thing that are meant to be changed. So, make them version 2 as intended. Boom, you've got a very, very amazing D7. I don't necessarily need to see Tyler or L'Rell back because both are... Well, I say that, but they might just be limited by the writing of those writers. If you give good characters bad writing, you only get so much. If you give good characters better writing... That's why often you move an actor or a character to a different sort of show, and it's boom, they take on new life. So I can imagine maybe those two on this show, even for small appearances, might then have a lot of a better appearance, especially if L'Rell then comes on as a TNG-esh Klingon, Kalish, speaking normally like an actual Klingon, then that'd be refreshing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And since this is a visual retcon of itself, then it could then visual retcon its own visual retcon and wouldn't think anything of it, because the whole thing's up in the air.
And James Caserta says no bumpy heads. There'll be bumpy heads, but they won't be as pronounced as TNG, I think. And they're going to be a more white skin tone as opposed to the darker ones of TNG, I believe, from what we've seen. So Jeff Budd makes a good point. I'd like to see a pre-TNG Cardassians, maybe a story about the founding of the Obsidian Order or something. That would be a perfect tie-in for the Section 31 people like Tyler and Georgiou to show up. We've heard whispers that the Cardassians are creating a secret military organization known as the Obsidian Order. We need to go in and see what's going on with that. We could see kind of the establishment of that. That would be neat. I mean, I think that would work in this time period. So yeah, we'd like to see Cardassians. That'd be a good one. Because we know they have a war with them right before TNG starts, essentially, the Cardassian War, which, so.
Yeah, Cardassians are also very possible, and we know that Cardassians have already been done in Discovery, and that they share a lot of the same stuff. So that makeup-wise, the work's been done to bring that into modernization, and it's very good. It's very faithful, etc. So that I can imagine being. And it would feel odd though. So you have to play them a certain way. I mean, they're not. It's not they wouldn't be meant. You have to play them very, very smart for them to be a minor power. But that on itself could be interesting. Play them as the demure. Cause that's pre-Cardassia occupation. Would it be pre-occupation? Because that was only.
I think they were there for.
I don't know for 100
It'd be
years,
about
though.
this time. It might be about this time, or maybe they're building up to do that at this point.
So I thought the occupation was like 50 to 70 years, and this is obviously.
I'm not sure how long the occupation was. I thought it was longer than that. But while you're looking that up,
yeah,
Christian
I was
Montgomery,
right. 2319. So this is like 70 years, way before the occupation.
They could talk about that initial tension then, or the desire for them to get to capture Bajor or something. Yeah.
But I feel like it would be a very small part of them, because they only know about Bajor because Bajorans came first to them with the solar sailor, but there are other planets nearby, etc.
Christian Montgomery, though, member for 18 months at the rank of captain. Thank you for your service, Captain, sir. Like to see the Enterprise request a flyby on NX-01 refit sitting in the Fleet Museum. Also hope that wasn't the vertical weapon or warp core I seen in the trailer.
Well, it was both. It's just warp core.
It was. It doesn't look like it goes all the way to the ceiling either. So I just imagine that in TOS they just moved it down under the floor as it should be.
But it doesn't link to TOS canon, so it doesn't matter.
Well, you say that, but you've got to try to work it in. So
I'm not going to try really most of this stuff.
Well, it's worth talking about at some point.
Yes.
So.
Happy Cloud Glamour. Okay. We know your priorities. Yeah, what is the soundtrack going to be like?
What's that? Sorry?
Well, I come to the guy saying soundtrack. As long as it's a good soundtrack, that's a big part of it for him. Yeah, what's the soundtrack going to be like? Because Discovery is quite a mixed soundtrack. Some of it's very catchy, some of it's just sort of there.
Well, I think they're going to try to incorporate a lot of the TOS feel, which there's certain tracks in the TOS one I can't stand, like the romantic theme and the quirky theme with the funny music. It's like, just stop, guys. I think there's going to be cues of that and little they're going to use the theremin, the thing that they did for they used for the original. So
yeah, because either they just go pure Discovery JJ or they try and harken back. I'm interested to see how many things they pull from that. Matthew, I'm being positive. Can you not tell this live? I'm trying to be very positive. Musical episode. Oh, thanks, Charlie.
Yeah, Devo77X says it was 50 years by the time of TNG, and TNG took place 75 years after TOS. Well, TNG took place 75 years after the movies, I believe, so...
Yeah, because 2319 was the occupation, and TOS was 45, so... That's 60 years in itself, then you got to go back another 4 years, so... Long time ago. I mean, it's generations ago, literally.
Oh, Kit sent the PayPal. Let me go check that.
But Cardassians, I think, could be really interesting. And then it's something like NX-01. That'd be a nice one. I mean, even a discovered NX-01 would be interesting. It wouldn't take as much of the change. It's a much more much closer art style. That'd be quite cool. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't show that. I mean, most of the design work's already done for you in terms of designing a new ship. And even against what I would do for fan films, I would say as the art team, right, let's pull from all the Enterprise variants and let's bring them all in and then incorporate them as part of the fleet. I would love to do that, obviously. I'm a ship guy.
So it looks like Kit sent two $5 PayPals, so thank you. And neither one of them have any comment. They're just a receipt. So I don't know what to tell you, Kit. I don't know why that PayPal does that sometimes. Sorry, Kit. I might want to just put in regular chat.
Now, do we want to see a Trelane-like being, a Q-like being?
We're going to, regardless whether we want to or not. Yes. I think we'll see a member of the Continuum. Yeah. And that's fine. I mean, that's what TOS was all about, was running into like super powerful beings like that. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be a standard trope for at least one episode.
Because I did joke to you previously, it'd be fun to see Delancey as Q and just, he's popping back at will. I mean, he can just, he can go whenever. Because, Delancey can literally appear and not say he's called Q. You know what I mean? He can pretend to be something else, and they think, oh wow, we saw a Vlantanian. And we scanned him, he's got this energy, but that's all we can tell. It wouldn't take much to pull him out of the Q legacy, and yet we, the audience, know.
Yeah.
Or it'd be harder with any other actor playing Q, because you'd have to say he or she was Q to get it, unless you bring like Susie Paxton back.
All you need is the flash and the sound effect. That's all you need.
That is true. Yeah, for an entity to appear that we see the Flash, no one else sees the Flash, because that would be signified to the crew, and it starts interacting with them. That would be fun. That would be fun.
So much potential with the Q.
But then it'll have to be quite different to Delancey, because he's obviously the epitome, and you don't just want to go serious mean Q, because then why are they mean, etc. That's a hard one.
I think you probably have more of a trickster Q, not
that's
quite
Trelane then,
as...
isn't it? Which is fine, like
more
of the simple style.
Well, Trelane was also kind of cruel. He was going to hang Kirk and sword fight. I'm like, it'd be fun to just have one that's just having fun.
Right. Okay, pure trickster, pure Loki.
Yeah.
Without the kill. Yeah,
Loki or Superman's Mix Slick Sticks, whatever the hell his name is. That little, I can never say his name. Yeah. Something like that. Is not outside the realm of possibility at all. And it'd be for one of those fun, lighthearted episodes, because they always do that. They always have one or two that are very...
Well, we don't know yet, but we hope they will.
Yes.
They should. But actually, I'm since you say that, I'm picturing a scene where Pike and... That's a cue there. Pike and Spock on the turbolift talk about the mission. The turbolift ends. It claws closed. A Q appears. He's in maybe like Picard uniform for the lols, and then swaps into... He goes into full their uniform, but like the dress uniform with all of the rank badges, like an insane amount. And
or just an actual TOS uniform.
No, they won't do that ever. They won't never do that. But he walks off the thing, and someone says to him, "Oh, General Commodore Admiral, sir." Yes, and he's like the most pompous, like I'm the plays with it, and because no one else is, because who's gonna of the low end crew, who's gonna disagree with the highest rank on the ship? So it's like something the fleet admiral walks aboard, and it's like, that's not a fleet admiral, that's a bullshit uniform. Like that could be fun.
Admiral President, sir.
Yeah. Oh, but hey, President Federation. That's interesting by itself. President Federation gets involved. Have some more political stuff.
Kit 10K says, I know the messages didn't go through. My first message was, hope to see some Miranda and Overworth classes, even though I'm not don't care much for the words.
Yes.
100% agree. Yes.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we're going to see Discovery ships. So, hey. Kit 10K. My second PayPal was saying that I'd like to see the Cardassians in Strange New Worlds. Yeah. Yeah, and that's very doable for sure. I would be surprised if the Cardassians were at least mentioned at some point. So,
because that's the thing, they can do some first contacts. It's a pretty big deal to give Pike the first contact with the Cardassians, as a canon thing.
It'd also be cool if it's a tie-in with Section 31, like if JoJo or Tyler comes aboard.
Make them a season apart, though. That's the season 3 version when she's dealing with the, like, she's having secret talks with the ambassador. It's the Obsidian Order representative.
No, I think it'll be more like we have this new threat. We're commandeering your ship. Nobody knows what it's about. And then they get there and they arrive, and the first thing you see on the view screen is a Cardassian. And people are like, oh! And then they deal with them, find out they're not as bad, but they seem kind of duplicitous, but we're not really sure. You know, that'd be kind of neat, I think.
I don't know if there was a bigger threat early on, though, that the tech was lesser until they had a boost. And part of that was the mining at Bajor, having a slave labour play. So I think for a while they were low-fi compared to Starfleet, so they wouldn't be as... I think that was part of their lore.
The Doctor, I do have to wonder if we'll see Mudd at some point. Oh, 100% you'll see Mudd. 100% he's going to be a thorn in Pike's side at least once. Yes.
But, again, you have to have Spock off the ship, because Spock did not know.
It's easy to get Spock off the ship. Just have him in a B story on an away mission on a planet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. No, he's a double whammy, because he actually gets to be, you know, we just brought back a famous guest star, which is, you know, a promotionable tool, you know. Pike is back, bum bum bum. You know.
I think you meant to say Mudd is back.
Pike is back, bum bum, and Mudd too.
Pretty sure Pike will be back for an episode or two.
We can't confirm. Not 100%, not until we see the show.
Some Kzinti adversaries. Yes, seeing the Kzinti or the Lyrans or something would be awesome as well. Yeah.
I don't know if they've done the right situation, because they're in very minimally lower decks, and if it's a per appearance thing, but live action, I'm sure it'd cost a lot more than...
They mention them in Picard. Riker mentions them.
Yes.
So be hard to tell, but I would love to see a Kzinti, absolutely, 100%.
They look very different, though.
They do?
No, they would look very different.
Oh.
Wouldn't want to keep them the same.
Well, it'd be funny to have like a Cetacean come aboard or a diplomat or something, and it turns out it's actually Kzinti, but you didn't know that, because the Cetaceans and the Kzinti are quite similar in appearance. I can definitely see some diplomatic missions like Journey to Babel type stuff going on.
Yep. No, that'd be nice to see Pike be a diplomat and Spock be a... Well, I mean, also let's see number 1 be a diplomat. Because that's the thing, what's number 1's role going to be in the thematic threesome of them? You know, she's not a Spock, she's not a Kirk, she's not a McCoy, she's her own thing, but her own thing is smart hard ass who's not as personable. Well, that's Spock.
Kind of like Spock was in TOS.
Yeah, well, somewhat, but she's also emotion filled, but doesn't. It'll interesting to see how they kind of factor in. Obviously, they wouldn't give Spock a romance particularly much. Many times in the show, but that's a big thing from this show is the romance subplot, because it's different. But yeah, what's her subplot? Or is it just going to be more the Riker role where she works with the entire crew, so it'll be a team vibe? Because
I think that's probably the case with her. Yeah. The thing I kind of dreading though is that if they do a will they won't they with Pike and number 1. I don't want to see that. I don't want there to be any sexual tension between those two. I don't think they're going to do that. Don't get me wrong. I'm afraid that it might happen, and because I don't think it would work for either character, honestly.
Yeah, I think they're too different. They're too powerful personalities to meld. Yeah, it's like Chakotay and Janeway. Until they got fully separated from their command chains, then they could kind of get flirty. But you know what I mean. There's a certain something there that stops them. But also, we do know that he ends up Venus, so I guess he loves still or fancies it or not. But I do want to see more Telosians. I think it's a risky pool to go back into, but the Vino actress was great last time. Did a really good job. The makeup, that just flat out great. So that I think would be very happy to see, especially if he knows his future. Well, actually, that might be an important part. Actually, now I'm breaking down for a second. So you've got it's in his brain, but he's obviously seeing it as flashes, and he's not sure what he's fully seeing. The Telosians have psychic powers, very heavy ones, to the point they could literally create the appearance of a black hole that also affects the ship enough, because in their brain, like, it's very, very powerful. So if they go back to the planet and say, "Go into my brain, let me see it," like factor it into like a mind holodeck and exist it. I could see him calling on their help, because this is, next level shit, my own death. That might be, the end of season 1 payoff. That he ends up going back there. Spock goes back to Vulcan. He meets Sarek, and so you've got this nice double payoff of going back to the roots of both characters, and you get the original Sarek character back, and so that might be a good thematic payoff.
The thing I'm worried about too with something like that, let's say, is Spock and Sarek scene where they have a talk, and they talk about Michael Burnham and tie Michael Burnham into this somehow. It would make sense for the characters to speak about it to each other, or at least one of them bring it up, and maybe Sarek be like, it's illogical to talk about someone who, whatever. I don't know, but I guess that's a concern I would have.
And also, I thought you were going to talk about this. Their relationship is very strained in TOS. I don't quite get the energy in this current version, so I feel like they've got to actually piss each other off between now and then, enough to stop talking. But that also pulls the time between talking.
It could be as simple as Sarek saying, there's a really good opportunity that came up at the Vulcan Science Academy, or the Academy or whatever. No, for you to take a prominent role in the council or something. Think about it, whatever, and then Spock chooses Starfleet over that, and that could lead into the whole problem.
Which we knew already happened already, but doubling down, literally.
Yes, because he did it to him twice. He turned his back on his Vulcanian roots twice, So, Kit sent another $5 through PayPal and says that he'd like to see the Zenkethi, or at least have them mentioned in Strange New Worlds. Zenkethi. Why does that name sound so familiar to me?
Yeah, I know the name, but I have to...
Yeah, I gotta look that up.
Captain Corky, of course there are. I mean, they're going to change lots of canon. I mean, just wait for it.
Yeah. Zenkethi, Star Trek.
Where's that comment?
I feel like I really should know that. I'm gonna take myself on it.
What can I find what you're looking at?
Government. Zenkethi Coalition. Okay, weird. Yeah, let us know what you guys think. And if you subscribe if you can, we're 2 in, which isn't very many, so help us out if you can. We're 95% away from our minimum, so anything helps. Please put in your thoughts. Spock was not in the cage, yeah. Let's Jericho. That's why I didn't. I recognize the name because it's such a cool name, and I know they're in Star Trek Online, but couldn't remember what they look like or the episode or anything. So.
But I've got a new poll idea, so let me finish this one. 160 votes. The winner just is Hell Yeah at 44% of Are You Excited? With 42%, I'm excited but worried. 5% are probably won't watch it. 9% not at all, which went from 0 to 9%.
Well, guys, hit that like button. We're at 86 likes. I want to get to 100. We have 130 people here. We do need some more super chats, obviously. So if you have any ideas you'd like us to talk about, or anything that you would love to see, we want to hear about it, and we will discuss it for sure. We do read all those on the air. So please, if you can help us out, please do. Yeah, Devo, Kit already talked about that a bit. An Oberth class vessel in Strange New Worlds. I think it'd be awesome to see like a Oberthified ship.
So just two options in this poll. And 50-50. Do you want to see old races again, Tholians, Gorn, etc., or new races almost entirely? Which side of the pendulum do you guys swing? Because without inventing new races, there aren't new stories, but there isn't that same grounding to legacy. And you think about a lot of these races recently, they don't stand out, and you forget them instantly because there's just something they haven't hit.
Well, it'd be worth hearing about. Honestly, hearing about the Zindi.
That'd be
just
good.
Because of everything that happens, and where that situation stands.
I don't get the sense they'll tie into Enterprise canon, though. I feel like they're going to very much use TOS and sort of change it to their own means and ignore everything else. Not for Malice, just because we'd like to see that, but I can see them just saying, let's not even touch it. Even though it's such a fun thing, have a Zindi aquatic ship, whatever they were called, come in and then be like, oh my god, hello.
John Mack, what? For the poll, if they're old races, I want to see the ones that they have been mentioned or barely on screen. Yeah, exactly. There's lots scattered throughout TOS that have been fleshed out in beta canon, like Starfleet battles and stuff that I want to see on screen. I want to learn more about them. The Kzinti, for example.
But for this example, it was specifically races that we've seen versus races we've just entirely new.
Yeah.
But I can do another poll though afterwards, asking races we've heard of, where the name is the name and there's nothing else to it. But back in 1 second strip.
Yeah. Sean O'Sullivan, €2. Need a prequel to Code of Honor. Best episode ever. How about no? Not a band account, $2. We need slower, serialized, darker themed episodes. How about no? We don't. We have other Trek to fulfill those desires. If that's what you're into, and that's your fetish of choice. I mean, there's lots of other stuff out there that you could. I want bright. I want fun. I want adventurous. I want episodic feel. I want to feel satisfied at the end of an episode instead of always waiting till the next week. So, the Grim Reaper throws in $3 Australian. So thank you. All I want to see is good storytelling. Yes, that sums up perfectly exactly what we think as well. So, aren't the Kzinti the same ones from Ringworld by Larry Niven? Yes, they are, but they're also in Star Trek the Animated Series. They've been mentioned in Picard. They've been in Lower Decks. There's a Kzinti officer, or I guess he's a lower decker, but he's part of the red squad of ensigns. I don't know what the hell Samuel's doing, but on Lower Decks. So I want to learn more about them. Code of Honor. That's awful. Matt says, I'd love to see more of the Andorian, of how the Andorians came into the Federation. Well, that's the thing with Hemmer being an Anar. We're definitely going to learn more about the Andorians and the Anar or whatever as a result of Hemmer being one of them. So they're automatically, I think we're going to get fleshed out more as a species. So
that'd be cool. I mean, yeah, member worlds. This is when the core member world people are more important. Yeah, show us some Andorians and Tellarites and give them more fleshing out. That'd be cool. That's the thing, isn't it? This is a great chance. You don't really see Andorians in post TNG. This is obviously the time you're ubiquitous with them. Flesh them out. Have fun with it. Because at the end of the day, it all builds on the canon, and the show is the canon.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Serious question. Do you think they're going to have a holodeck or a rec deck of sorts?
Ooh.
Because they had a holographic shooting range, at least, in Discovery.
That's hey, guys, you... Let us know what you think there.
Because I have a bad feeling about that. And if they do call it a recreation deck, and it's simulates environments, then the animated series, I'm afraid, is canon, my friends, because that's where that was first introduced.
That's true.
So
Which is true. They can't. Can they play both sides of the
they will.
fence?
They'll jury pick. They'll be like, we want that, but
Yeah,
still.
that's true.
I mean, Star Wars does that with the expanded universe.
Yeah, but nothing of that is canon. Like, you know it isn't.
Well, they still pick characters out of it and plop them
Yeah,
in
but
new stuff.
they were not canon. Like, you knew it wasn't canon. It's like the novels. The novels are never canon, so it doesn't matter what they pick. It's all the side material. The animated is always kind of both and neither. That's really interesting. I mean, they're all within their rights because Gene invented the holodeck for the animated series. They have one. It's not called a holodeck, but and its limitations will be really fun. I don't think they will limit it. I think it'll be as good as TNG holodeck because, well, of course they would. I mean, they don't want those limitations. They want it to be as full as possible. So yeah, I think they'll have a holodeck. I think they'll call it a holodeck, and I think it'll be as powerful as TNG, even more powerful maybe. It'll probably have probably a room that the holograms can walk around the ship and like because it is fun for them. They probably won't just the whole ship is a holodeck now. Yeah.
Well, I'm just hoping if they do have something like that, like a holographic simulator room, that it's just environments and stuff, and maybe like very basic characters that
There's me what I really think canon versus what they're gonna do. What I would do is have it be just an enhancement of the shooting range where they actually walk in and like, Mr. Spock, wait, that's Kirk. Mr. Spock, we've got a new simulation range. It's called a recreation deck. Oh, Captain, it can do more than pre-programmed environments? Yes, you can just tell it to create a forest, and it'll create a random generated forest. That's amazing. Yes, it is. And they walk in and say, Captain, I don't smell anything. Yeah, we haven't... That's a whole different ball game, but they're working on it. Like, that would be how I would play that. And then you then rate them to
okay, I brought my pine-scented air freshener. There you go.
Or even like a mobile one that you could walk in that like makes sense, which I'd be fine with. Like, the two textures are different. Because then you could have a story where... they walk into the holodeck and it's a Klingon, say, and he's in a Klingon simulation, and they're like, I smell something, because they don't know it can or can't do smells. So that's, I mean, that would be a very obvious visual thing to include. There's precedent. I mean, it's still a pretty long way from TS, even if it's canon or not. So, but having an enhanced, because really enhanced, the fact they can recreate a holographic environment means it's also as good as just a big window, right? So, having just go into the holodeck to see Vulcan, he just sits on a bench and looks at it. That's within its power entirely. So I can see that being, that's a really, really good shout. I think that'll be a thing for sure. Build to be very advanced, more so than it should be.
Kit sent another $10 via PayPal, but again, I don't see a message. So Kit there it is.
Yes.
There it is. Saying they love the actor playing Hammer is blind. It's like when TNG did the story arc with Riva, the ambassador that was deaf because the actor who played Riva was deaf. Yes. Yeah.
Like we said, the entire thing with the cast seems to be really strong. We don't know them properly, but they've hit the ground running with the cast. I mean, certainly more than like the Prodigy cast, because they were like, you don't know anything about them. These guys have really, they've really gone into it. We have a real sense of all of them, even if it's just the basics. And I don't know about you, Stuart, but I always love when somebody who, you're not the main lead, you're not in the main three, you're 6 out of the main 9, right? I'm thinking of the I don't know what her name is, the aliens lady, aliens looking lady, the tactical officer. My brace is Ortigas, but I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, Ortigas. Yeah.
Hey, good for me. Anyway, so I feel like I watched an interview with her, and she said, so name the character. Well, she's a very strong pilot, and she loves Starfleet, and it was just the one-line brief stuff. So I feel like that always happens like in my fan films. I say, explain who Keely is, and she just explains what happened in this one film. Like that's all they have in their memory banks of what I did, rather than who I am, because they're not too depthy. So I wonder how much that we're going to see, which I'm fine with. It's just interesting how like some of the characters, they have a lot more oomph. But there's also a tier system where the further down the totem pole, you're going to get more situational things versus deep backstory. But I still feel like I like them more even for that limited backstory. Just that one, I remember her being the exception of, not too much there yet.
Andrew Parent, $5.
Thank you.
My number one hope is that we see the TOS Starfleet we never got. Not Discovery ships, not Strange New Worlds Connie contemporaries, and a true unified fleet feeling. Yes, I want a fleet feeling for sure. We always heard about the TOS fleet, never really saw it, and when we did see it, they were getting annihilated by one of their own ships. So, yes, I totally agree.
And Christian says they had holographic tabletop games. So I'm cool with a room.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's radically different amount of power. It's like saying you can move a motorbike 100 miles an hour versus a train with 15 cars. It takes massively, radically more power to move them both. So, like we can have holograms with a phone if you put a little plastic thing that, like,
triangle, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not at all the same tech. Otherwise, the holodeck would have been invented instantly. So it's not the same. And I'm sure today we could have holograms if you wanted to. Like, well, there is even there's like that billboard in Japan that.
Yeah.
But it won't work from some angle, so it's limitations are key.
Wouter215, 10 euros. Thank
Boom.
You so much.
Thank you. Basically doubled us there, so thanks.
Best super chat of the day, so thank you so much. I would like to see the strange in Strange New Worlds. Strange things like the domesticated giant spiders in lower decks, or fantastically weird things. He says, hit like. So yes, hit like, everybody. Well, that's the thing. This show, the very title says it all. Strange New Worlds. Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see aliens. We have the technology now that we can make aliens look like not humans. Let's do that. Let's have some of that on screen. So,
see, I'm torn on that because CGI creatures are. I mean, we've even seen in the Halo show, they rarely use the Coven, even though that's the most definitive part. Because in a video game, you can have 50 on screen at one time. There's no more.
Yeah.
It's a video game. So by having be full alien, you limit the screen time because they are watching their bank balance burning as every second. Whereas if they do prosthetics like Orville, they can have a 2 arm, 2 leg, and
they're gonna mix of both.
Sure, but I actually kind of want to see mostly prosthetic based or humanoid because they can then have full stories with full characters rather than just have like an Enterprise, the CGI Gorn that is fantastic. It's barely in it. It's very limited. Because the strange of having the CGI is great and all that, but it becomes very limited very quickly, especially if you want to have some sort of scope with it. So I would rather go prosthetic and humanoid. The foreheads allowed for a lot of creative freedom. We only have to make up the top half of the head, so we can do 15 people in a day and get them on set versus a CGI person. It's a lot of stuff, and it might not look good. That's just me.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do practical Tholian, obviously, but...
But see, things like Linus, he's a practical creature, but they CGI his eyeballs.
Yeah,
or his
blinks. Brilliant.
Like, that's what I'm talking about. More stuff like that.
Hey.
Maybe a tentacle or two that moves, or...
Well, that's... I know what you mean. Eyelids are very understandably simple, and then inside the prostheticness... Once you had stuff outside of, you're then being hit by light, so that instantly makes it the expense of doing full CG almost. It's amazing how that one distinction does change radically. But that said, Tholian obviously has to be full CG. And hey, yeah, bring back what's the Linus people's called? Solarians, Sumerians, Saurians.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, you better have a Saurian, because that makeup's fantastic. And even, the Linus actor, never busy on Discovery, just have the same makeup guy. Like, the same guy. It's fine. He looks the same. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Have him as Linus' brother. Just make it a full-on brother, his twin brother. Really, really good makeup. And,
Pike runs into him in the hallway. Linus, is that you? No.
Do
you think we all look alike? He gets all pissed off and walks away. Kind of like in 2009, where I think it's a cutout scene that he runs up to the one Orion lady, and it's not.
Oh,
the
yeah.
lady he slept with. Yeah. DS Wayne, $5. Would a virtual simulator room be the proper precursor to a full-blown holodeck? By the way, keep up the good work. Yeah. Yes, I think a virtual simulator room would be. Like in the animated series, it was called the Recreation Deck. And there's nothing wrong with that. It can create environments. It can create you at a beach, but that's about it.
You couldn't smell it.
It's like the ones in Equinox, where they attach them to their head and they can just visualize a landscape.
There's
but
no
like brought
complicated
up to the
things.
point of, yeah, brought up to the point of it being in a room. Maybe if you change your angle, the parallax doesn't quite work right, and it looks funky or something.
Well,
I
it's
kind of stay
also
still.
an environment that you know you can't walk around in properly, has limitations, whereas as soon as you add characters to it, that's when the high-end calculations happen. And then that's why TNG is so impressive, because you could have a fully integrated world where you talk to any person, they've got a story. So, whereas the Discovery one, it was very much like just NPCs. They just followed a pattern. They just shoot at you. They're not living. They're not being. They're just following a pattern, which is great.
Yeah.
You need those limitations. Scenery is easy. People is difficult. I can imagine they might do this. Would be really fun if the pilot character goes into the hollow room. Let's say hollow room. Yeah, in between hollow room, and they it's a flight simulator or the shuttle bay, and they can like raise a thing that's is a hollow simulator. That'd be fun. A way of having a holographic training thing while still being minimum.
Yeah. Mark Lawrence, $5. Good to see you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
For non-humanoid aliens or crewmen, they could be on screen sometimes while other times be in contact on view screens.
Yes, very, very true. For sure. And Ethan asks, why isn't there a both option on the poll? Because I'd split the vote. Because if that gets 30%, the other one gets 30, or 20, or 40, it's not as impressive. And B, there's always a 51%. You know? Rarely is everything exactly split. So even if it's 51%, 49%, there's still a preference slightly. So just ask them the preference. Oh yeah, dots. Do you want to see dots?
Nope, 100% no.
Are you going to see dots yet? You're probably going to see a dot bay and Spock working on dots and Hemmer designing more dots. And
one of the crewmen members is going to have a dot that just follows him around like a pet, like the pet you get in Star Trek Online.
Yeah, we programmed it to be his friend, and it's like, and it speaks, and it's all.
It's like R2D2.
Yep.
Yeah. Good God. I'm going through the episodes to see if there's anything that I'd want to see from like the original TOS episodes. But there's nothing, because a lot of them are like big reveals for the episode, right?
I want to see some Admiralty. I want to see some inner Starfleet politics. We do get this big space station and a briefing room scene clearly. That would be, you know, what is the politics of the time without making them racist and mean people like in Picard. Just have them be quality officers doing quality things. Get a sense of the tangible sense of the universe. You know, have an Admiral Vance style character where they are clearly just a strong, good leader because that's what position they're in.
Yeah.
And Jupiter Station, give us our TOS Jupiter Station or pre-TOS.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. Simple.
I'd like to see the Utopia Planitia yards in TOS time.
Yeah. That'd be fun. I mean, it's all obviously caveated with in the Discovery aesthetic. It'd be nice if it was in a more faithful version aesthetic. Obviously, it's all kind of you picture over with the TOS stuff, but yeah, it'd be fun to see.
D. Rosalou, 551, $5.
Thank you.
It would be fun to see some of Enterprise's forgotten races make a comeback. See how they've progressed. Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Razor 22 Gaming has joined the channel at the rank of Captain. Welcome, Captain. Those channel memberships make a big difference. So if anybody wants to click that join button and join, we'd really appreciate it.
Amazing.
If you can't super chat, that's also a big way to help us out. So
Razor, let us know how long you've been watching and which of our contents do you enjoy the most, or I look forward to the most. Are you looking forward to our Picard stuff when it comes back around again, or Lower Decks or Prodigy? Let us know, because it's your chance. You've grabbed our attention fully. Captain, no captain. Yes. Let us know. We'd love to know.
Taylor T, $10. Let's get some first contacts with TNG, DS9, and Voyager species.
Voyager's
I doubt there'll be any Voyager species. Yeah.
But also, I don't want it all to be around the Enterprise. It seems very closed if they're the first contact with XXXX, BB, you know, all these different races. It's just, you know, that's why it's because that's the point. TOS was a pioneer. TNG was a pioneer. I can take one or two, sure, but to give Pike all of the cred for all these things is too much. Now, April, if you want to get back and do flashbacks and give April some stuff as well, that's fine. But Oh, Ethan, fair enough. Good for you. But so yeah. But we might get some, Vulcan villains, Vulcan villains, or Andorian or Tellarite. Maybe the core races, maybe a group have gone rogue. So you still have sort of the familiar races, but in a new context. Would be kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. Furious Fonz, who's been a member for 25 months at the captain. That's a long time.
It is. Thanks so much.
Not enough options in the poll. Want existing races from previous Trek returning, but no Gorn. They are not known before TOS Arena. You know that they're not going to care, right? You know that they're going to show a Gorn. Just saying. And if they do it smartly, I mean, they can do it smartly and cleverly.
It's not Akiva's forte.
Yeah. Pike will never reach Burnham levels. Oh my god.
Yeah, rogue factions, exactly.
What did I just do?
What in Discovery could they pick up? I'm quite sad, honestly, that the Admiral lady's dead, because that would have been a great character to bring over. Put her in the proper TOS Admiral's uniform.
Who, Cornwall?
Yeah.
I was watching Castle last night, and she was one of the people. She was the wife of one of the guys they suspected of murder. I'm like, is that Cornwall? That was like a few years ago. She looked a little bit different.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I she was one of the better elements of that cast in the first season. That'd been cool to see.
That's right.
Yeah, because it's tricky because you don't want it to be too much, but also to create new races that are super engaging is tricky and not impossible. But there's so many races in TNG. You need to have 26 a week, 26 a year, and only some actually stand out. Having 10 in 1 year, the chance of any race particularly standing out is obviously much lower. And if you want to talk about standouts in TNG, there is obviously some, but they had a lot of episodes, a lot of time.
Beantown Brown, no time travel stories. Disagree. I want time travel stories. And JT Gamer, an early K7 or seen K7 or one of the K space stations would be awesome.
Perfect. Yes. Yep. Yeah, time travel's tricky. I mean, the fact that Pike knows his future is a time travel mechanic anyway.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I was gonna say they could meet the Guardian, but that was obviously future Guardian anyway. Although, in fairness, I would be fun if Carl appears.
Carl, yeah.
He appears in some civilian uniform on a different planet. He says he's Carl and he plays it like he did, but it's the Guardian not on vacation, but the Guardian is having to move his influence out a little bit for a certain mission. That'd be really cool. The Guardian avatar existing and doing something. That would be fun. Yeah, that'd be fun. Because you'd get it, it becomes kind of like a Q character, that meta top narrative, knowing also because if he's vaguely non-temporal, he meets Spock in a few years, but the Guardian's not such to say I've never met you before, Spock, or I met you when Pike was on your ship, Spock. So that wasn't part of the conversations. Obviously, he wouldn't say that.
George Mangrum, $5.
Thank you.
What Dax is alive now? Would like to see them. Emily, the gymnast, she had a thing with McCoy.
Because Curzon was a proud diplomat in this time, but I guess she died, and then McCoy is probably when McCoy was young, so I assume
young. Well, he's younger here. He's like 8 years younger or whatever.
Yeah, but he was not young in TOS. I mean, like in his 20s. That's true. He's in his late 30s here, I would assume. So if not older. That's a good point. I mean, Dax would be fun. I would totally like Dax, because that doesn't interfere with anything.
Yes. Bring
Except
to Paul. People have said bring to Paul back, and I wouldn't mind that.
I would love it, but yeah. The problem with Dax is that we know Dax likes the old aesthetic. So to have Dax then talk about the old aesthetic, in the proper aesthetic, it's like, well, Dax could clearly see this is not the old aesthetic. Just a meta joke. Trill, yeah, bring me some Trill in.
Vincent Visions for $2. Twist. They meet Gerardi Queen.
Would be a twist. I mean, she's not in season 3 of Picard. She's in Stranger World season 1. It's like, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Dan Ben. One of the trailers had tribbles in it.
Did it?
Did it though?
I don't know.
I mean, they've already ruined that with Trouble with Edward or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
They've already messed the tribbles up completely for Discovery anyway.
If they can retcon April's history, they can retcon the tribbles again.
Yeah.
Always like the short treks. It's like the future short trek. They're just going to ignore it until they can not ignore it anymore. Like they're going to, it was not made by the people who want it now. So Leela's in 2168. Leela Dax, according to this. But that's already after this. So that's confusing.
That's right.
I was getting less information than I thought on this. I thought it was a whole history of the Dax symbionts. Which one did you say?
There's a whole episode dedicated to it.
Doesn't mean they actually give years,
I know.
though. What was the symbiont you said?
Emily. She was a gymnast. Emily.
Something like that. Yeah, she was the third one.
Yeah. Jason 6690, member for 27 months at the rank of captain. So thank you so much, Jason, for your service.
Very generous.
Take some species and elements from Enterprise like Xindi and Sphere Builders. Build on existing worlds. Yeah.
Well, I would have a Sphere remnant rather than a Sphere builder itself because they've already out of the Cold War. So in the 2240s, she was a gymnast on Earth and met McCoy. So 40s.
So Quaff alone. Will it be Disco Klingons in this? No. They may do some kind of retcon where they explain it. I don't know, but no, they won't be.
Oh. I get Dan. Daniel said, in the same trailer, there was a Borg cube and a TNG uniform. Dan, it wasn't a trailer, it was a look at all the pretty things we do, here's tile sequences. Like, here's our titles. There's also a Voyager shuttle screaming by, there's all sorts. None of that's real. Like, that's them having fun. That's not a Stranger World trailer, that's a look at our titles. Yeah, just ignore everything in that. Just ignore it. They're not going to have a TNG costume in this show.
Yeah. Mr. Captain 93, will we meet a young Bones? I believe we will. Yes.
Well, young is a bit of a stretch, really.
Younger.
But I feel like he hasn't known Spock that long.
Well, he wouldn't know Spock. He would come aboard, they'd be like, I don't like that guy. Not really talk to him much, kind of butt heads with him, and then leave. I think it'll be a one episode kind of thing where they run into him, another ship or something.
So I kind of don't want him to meet Spock. I'd rather have... I thought that would be... They meet on the Enterprise and then find instant love/hate. That was sort of the chemistry they had. It wasn't a many, many years ago vibe. For me, that's just in my head. But that would be fun if they actually don't meet in the episode. In fact, he knows Pike really well. I think would work better.
But it looks like McCoy's standing on the bridge with them at one point with the mustache. I think that's probably McCoy. Anyway,
it's not been talked about enough to imply that no one caught it and thought it that because Kirk. They saw one image of a random guy. That's Kirk. It's like, why would that be Kirk? It is Kirk apparently. Okay, you know what I mean? And yet that never got any traction. So I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, Shannon Nash, $5. For me, ships, and more ships. Hell yeah. I'd also like to see or mention people like Admiral Nagura or Matt Deckard pre-breakdown. There's actually a good fan film about the incident of the Constellation with Matt Deckard as captain. I know, right? I watched that the other night, and I was actually kind of impressed by it. It's a good lead-in to the episode.
Yeah, the Doomsday Machine was a hard one to animate because it's slow but can't be too slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you liked what I did with it.
I did.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah, that's one person I'd like to see is Dr. Boyce. Find out what happened to him.
Yes.
Oh, apparently the mustache guy is Sam Kirk, says Logan. Or Matt Deckard. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Dan, yes, saw a preview clip where the Captain Pike is on the shuttle Stamets. Yes. Not named after Paul Stamets that jumped to the future. Probably named after another scientist named Stamets. Don't know if you know, but there's an actual scientist Paul Stamets on Discovery was named for. So no problem with the shuttle being named that at all.
Yeah. For sure.
And James Kirk, who would know, he says the guy with is Sam Kirk. So there you go. Problem solved. Snoopy McQueen, $5. Strange New Worlds will save the franchise or destroy it. Very excited, laying out of work to watch it.
I mean, it won't destroy the franchise because Picard and Prodigy and Lodex just ignore it as visual, so it's fine. It's like JoJo just doing his own thing. Chilling out, doing his own thing. I don't think Mike's going to start swapping out Spock for, all this stuff for this stuff. TOS is where it's at. That's what people have been into for 50 years. How many of us know many people older than 50 versus younger than 50? All of their lives. Cultural phenomenon is TOS. Cultural phenomenon.
Yeah. James Kirk throws in $7 with a dancing pair, celebrating pair.
Oh my god.
He's like celebrating, he's blowing his little...
I think he's celebrating his brother.
Or celebrating that Strange New World is on tomorrow.
Well, Kirk, good luck in Strange New World Season 2. We hope you do well. Hopefully you're not going to make out with an Orion lady in first scene, but hey, who knows? Who knows? Andrew, nice. That's funny. Oh, Kieran, A Strange World TOS era song. I mean, I wouldn't be against that per se.
I would be.
I'd want him to be the nicest guy, though. Play different. And be just the most lovely guy.
I don't need another Soong in my life, especially if it's played by Brent Spiner.
Of course, Stuart, come on. Of course it's played by Brent Spiner. Who else is it played by? There's literally no one else that can play a Soong. We know this, Stuart.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
female Soong would be nice, though. Let's see a female Soong for a change.
But the female Soong wouldn't give us the Soong quirky traits. That's the thing. Soong is but I do agree in generalities. But I think you could have a one episode he'd be like a Daystrom. He comes on the Enterprise to try and
Corey's still alive. Turns out she actually her genetics were all screwed up, so she lived forever.
I mean, hey, it's a story. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? How interconnected are any of these shows going to be? Because we did have the surprise-ish Picard reference in Discovery to help retcon that bit. They knew we had to change, Discovery was told to undo the Picard everyone can live forever clause in his robotness. They retconned it out in their show. And then something else happened recently as well. So it'd be interesting to see if they do any sort of crossover. I don't know how exactly, but
And who is it here? Charlie Darlazo has a very good question. What do you all prefer? An awesome start to Strange New Worlds or a surprisingly great end to Picard Season 2?
Wow. Hi, John.
That'd be a good poll, actually.
Yeah.
Let's close that poll. I'll make another poll here.
Ash, we don't know. Maybe, though. But I would be pushing that. That'd be like T'Pol was only barely alive and she was a Vulcan, so yeah.
So we'll end the other poll. For these new stories, do you want to see old races again, Tholians, Gorn, etc.? Wins at 60%, and at 40%, new races, entirely new things. So I'm going to create a new poll. Jason6690 puts in $2 and says, see a Foley class ship, fingers crossed? No, you will not see that, but thank you. I appreciate the optimism.
But it's reasonably close between old and new races. But again, it's all about needs to be good versions of them to be worth it.
All right, there we go. There's a new poll up now. Word for word. That was a great question, so we're just gonna... Oh, wait a minute. I don't want to add an option. What the hell?
But definitely, I think using some Enterprise aliens would be really smart. Even pulling it... Well, like they did with... They did Discovery Season 4, they used an Enterprise alien with a makeup. That'd be smart. Following up. And even, hey, maybe Pike... Maybe they stranged the world into a planet that the NX discovered and talked to... and then wasn't on their records. Probably that would be fun to see. Actually, wouldn't that be amazing, Stuart, if Pike, kind of like in TOS, then when they see the viewer and they show records, wouldn't it be amazing if they go to a place the NX-01 went to first, and you see them play some NX-01 footage with Archer on the view screen, and it's like, wow, that would be great. That'd be, we've seen that sort of thing in TOS. That'd be really fun.
James McGill, $2. Love to see starships based on Joseph or Franz Joseph designs. Hell yeah. Simon Peter, $10. I may be alone, but I am a black man, and I don't have anything against the actor playing the role of Robert April yet. I just think it's wrong that canon is broken for the sake of race or race politics.
And he can say that.
Yeah, we can't, because if we say anything like that, we're in trouble.
We're also not that interested in race anyway, as a general,
Doesn't matter.
We're just people.
Yeah.
People doing Star Trek. But thanks for speaking up and saying something.
Yeah.
I love the actor personally. I think he's fantastic, so I'm excited to see what they do. April for me is just such an interesting character conceptually that they better use him interestingly.
Yes.
So I have my own April because I've worked with an April. I've CG'd him, and we'll still be doing that again for the remastered version. So there is there's more screen time of that April than any other April in history. So
yeah, and even beta canon there's a lot of history with April that they just ignored. So whatever, it is what they can do what they want to do, I guess. Shannon Nash, maybe it's never mind. Some horrible experiment gone wrong. Anyway, Shannon Nash puts in $5. Plot twist. At the end of the season, it's revealed that everyone was a Telosian simulation, and Pike is already in the chair. Dun, dun, dun. That'd be great. We've talked about that a few times. Have Venus show up occasionally, just like see her at the end of a hallway, and she turns the corner, and he runs after her, and she's gone. And it turns out, the whole series is going to be part of his imaginings in the menagerie. In the cage. Matthew DeFreitas, $2. Too depressed to care about Picard finale. Let's go, Strange New Worlds. Yeah. I'm still interested to see if they stick that landing or not, though, for Picard.
Yeah, they have so many hurdles to cross at this point.
Yeah. Think about it, Spock, but the needs of the one, Pike of the many, the crew of the Enterprise. Yes, he's going to have a strong relationship with Pike, which I have no problem with. I want to see their dynamic. Hopefully it plays out well.
And I also hope that Spock feels inexperienced enough. Spock only becomes Spock we know for not being perfect yet. But obviously Ethan feels a lot younger than Len Nimoy. Like, he feels like a 20-year-old, not child, but he isn't, but he feels young, much younger than he, so it'll be interesting to see how they play that. But he shouldn't feel like a, Yes.
Yeah. Let's see if we get some more likes. We have 125 with 128 people here. Let's try for 150. Let's try to get the 25. I think we could probably do it. If you haven't hit like yet, hit that like button. Super chats have definitely improved, so thank you, but still looking for at least, I would say, another 25. So if you're able to throw in a 10 or a 25 or whatever, that'd be amazing. And please let us know if you have any other ideas you'd like us to talk about, or story ideas, because we would love to. That's what this whole thing's about, speculating what we'd like to see. So
discussing interesting things, yeah. And I find Matthew's comment a bit funny, how he's saying be positive about Strange New Worlds, and he's riffing on Picard. It's like, I thought you were all positive about things, and here you are bitching. You know, just saying, like, you know, it's interesting how two dichotomies, and yet we give everything a fair shake. You know.
Yeah. Well.
That's why we're very consistent. That's why people can hate us, because we're consistent. You know?
Yes. Snoopy McQueen, $5.
Snoopy!
I agree with Mr. Peter. Leave canon alone. If they black, let them stay black. If white, let them stay white. The same for all races. And again, Snoopy can say that because he's a black man. So thank you, Snoopy, for speaking up. Christian Montgomery. Oh, sorry, I'll let you. Christian Montgomery, $2. Check on the humans. The Skagrins abducted in Enterprise. Hell yeah, let's do that.
Oh, that rings bells. Remind me?
The Skagarians. They're the ones that didn't they have the flaky skin? Hold on. Anyway, what were we gonna say about the other thing?
Oh, just make new characters. You know.
Oh yes.
Make new stuff.
Interesting though. They want to ruin things.
Oh no! If you've got such a famous character playing a role, make a new admiral, they'll stand out. You know. It's a safer thing to do. Yeah. Devereaux is not a hill to die on. We agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt. Yeah, it's because we don't even know the tone. Is it going to be a fun show? Is it going to be a dramatic show? Is it going to be? Are you going to be 45 minutes or 50 minutes or 40, 40? You know. And how much of the ship are we going to see? Is it going to feel like character? Are they going to have long walk and talks? It's still
I think they will.
It's still the Pavlov's, you know, episode. Yeah.
I think you mean Schrodinger's episode.
I do mean, yes, thank you.
Yes. A Nurse Chapel and Roger Corby episode. Hey. Yeah. Yeah, the Skagarians were flaky guys. Yeah. I can't remember exactly. It was the Old West planet, I know that, but the humans, I think, were abducted from Earth.
Ah, right.
And then were subjugated, and yeah.
Nice. So. And in fact, I kind of wish they do a historical drama fun piece in some area we haven't seen, because you know if they're gonna go with the TOS vibe as they're clearly saying they are, it would be great for them to accidentally bump into the Native American planet or the Spaniards planet, and it's like, Mr. Spock, why is everyone here wearing 14th century? Hey, parallel development, don't ask me. And just embrace the period drama, because now obviously they could do really, really nice period drama, whereas at TOS they used standing sets, costumes from other productions, which therefore had a good quality but were limited to their own vibe.
Which makes me wonder, and here's another one thing to bet on. We're going to get Nazis at any point in this series, because we've had Nazis in Enterprise, we've had them in TOS.
Not for a while though.
Like the standard bad guys, zombies and Nazis. They're interchangeable. Usually, sometimes they're the same thing. In games like Call of Duty, you could fight the zombie Nazis.
Goodness, Nazis. Do I want to see Nazis in Strange New Worlds? Stuart, I'll be honest, I never considered it. I'll wait and see on that. Guys, new poll. Do you want to see Nazis in Strange New Worlds?
Not a banned account, $2. Can we hope for Strange New Worlds to mirror current issues?
Oh.
Yes. I mean, if it's done well, like they did in TOS, some of them were pretty obvious. Other ones not so much. But yeah, that's one of the things I think Star Trek did well, and even in TNG.
It's a winning formula is allegory via aliens without them talking at camera. They haven't matched it yet for a long time. Subtlety of writing has not been the strength of television in Star Trek in the last 20 years.
It's got to have
Or
big
15
pew pew
years.
shoot 'em ups and
People yelling about the environment of just to the side of the room. It's like that's not really good writing, is it though?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, let's be honest with ourselves. If it's just the Orville with less humor, they get the message right. They get the vibe right. Just recapture the Orville with funny characters. Like they did it for 2 years.
Yeah. Looks like Kit's thrown in some more money. He threw in a $50 PayPal and a $30 PayPal, but neither one of them has messages.
Ah,
They're
Kit, tell
literally
us.
just the transaction details. Like there's nothing there. Sorry, Kit. Hope you're still here. Just
Tell
shoot
us.
me a DM on what you want to
Yes.
say.
Yes. But Dan asks, do you want to see a Mirror Universe episode, Stuart? Or how high on the list of priorities is a Mirror Universe story?
Personally, I would like to see one because I do love the Mirror. I love alternate reality stories and time travel stories, but I don't want to see one because there's no reason that they should have one at this point, unless they do it Enterprise style, where they don't our Prime guys don't actually switch places, and you just literally see a story set in the Prime or the Mirror universe of these characters. I think that'd be cool, but there shouldn't be a crossover, like a transporter accident or anything like that. That's my thought. How about you? You know, the Mirror Universe is coming done to death now with Discovery, so.
Well, it's been done to death in a lo-fi sort of way with some good stuff, but they Discovery did its best work in the Mirror Universe. It got to be as dark and depressing as it wanted to be. Like that's the thing. It should have been a Mirror Universe for the entire time, given their tone and style. The thing is, if they do it, they can't have it be Mirror again because that was the first. I would be fine to see a purely mirror story on the Enterprise with Pike, but then you've got, well, okay. Yes, I would want to see a Mirror Universe episode where it shows us it's really a Mirror Spock story, because they can there you go. You have Mirror Kirk on the Enterprise. There was never a Pike. Maybe Kirk kills Pike in the Mirror Universe, takes command, and you get to see Mirror Spock as Mirror Spock, and he harnesses that performance. Then I'd be down more. So kind of like the prequel, play off as a prequel to, the Mirror, but only from their perspective. How Mirror Kirk to the Enterprise, and it lets you see a Captain Kirk without actually seeing Captain Kirk. So that I could see. And maybe we have Sulu and Uhura kiss for the lols. Maybe evil Sulu comes aboard with his scar and makes out with her. First thing he does, walks on the ship and kisses her and is like, yes. A conquest for another day. And he walks away. It's like, wow, that's an entrance. So if you go that silly, then yes, okay.
Yeah, just got a response from Kit. Okay. He says, I'm still here. The 50 was because I refused to be outdone money-wise. Because the €10 super chat, that was the biggest one.
If only it came in super chats. But still helps.
And he says, and the second was for your request for $25 plus an extra $5. So, thank you, Kit.
Amazing. Charlie, that's what Stuart said. Stuart's on that camp.
The DS9 ones aren't that great to me, honestly.
They have good elements, but they're not very strong stories. Overall.
The rationale that I have is that we all. Oh, there, I'm back. Simon Peter, $10. The rationale that I have is that we all have gone along with the producers of New Trek breaking the canon. So why can't Strange New Worlds come to be the closest to canon? How about blue Klingons or red Romulans? Yeah.
We're going to see visual and everything. So yeah, wait to see, Gorns are actually people. Tholians are actually, orange turtles. Yeah.
Wow.
Now that's interesting that Bryce says Strange Worlds already has 2 seasons in the can. Not quite. They have one and a bit. It's not like South Park where they can literally do an episode in overnight or in a week. So Strange New Worlds can only cover social issues broadly, no topicality. True, but the same political issues the last 2 years have been the last 4 or 5 years. So
even longer than that. They could
for sure
cover stuff from the 90s or something that TNG didn't touch on or whatever.
Well, yeah, but it's more divided now. But you can easily have a yellow-haired evil dictator and be like, wow, good analogy. Allegory, thanks, great. So, I mean, they're all still there, you know. All these things are still here. There's nothing really... You know, they're not going to have a Will Smith slap reference. Like, they're not that... Although in Season 2 they could. Maybe someone slaps Pike in the middle of a speech and is like... You know,
keep the name of our damn planet out of here.
Yeah, keep our planet's name out of your mouth.
You don't want to join the Federation, damn it.
Best new planet of the year award. It's like, but I have to name your planet in the award. What? Yeah.
Oh Jesus! All right, can we get another 10 more likes? Let's get it to 150, if possible. If you haven't hit that like button, please give it a hit.
James has a really interesting curveball. Ilea.
Ooh.
Young Ilea.
The original Riker and Troy story. Amizadi, because it's the exact same story.
Sure. I would be down to see Ilea. I mean, she hasn't really got a character to speak of, so it's a fresh slate. But a bald lady is a different demographic. With I can't remember what the accent is, Spanish or some such. Yeah, Ilea's interesting. Just that race in general. I mean, fun to see that the very hairy man next to the bald woman in the same shot. Like, oh wow, they're both Delphins. Both Deltons, although we just saw Deltons in Discovery, they're all bald, so I guess they're not.
Yes, and in the comics, one of the comics, they're all bald as well. Even though the president of the Federation in Star Trek 6...
And the guy in Star Trek 4...
Yes, those guys are supposed to be male Deltons, that's how the male Deltons look, and the females are all bald.
Except in Discovery where they were all... On Picard's where they're all bald.
Maybe they're at war.
It's sad because that was brutal honesty. That was nice. They're at war with sexuality, Stuart. Every 5 years they shave all their hair to match the women.
Yes. Yeah. Or it could be like some Earth cultures where they only grow the hair out when they've become married. Like they don't cut their beard after they get married or something like that. I don't know.
Or maybe vice versa. Women have hair before marriage, men don't. They swap for some reason. What a strange addition to the Delphin lore. But Ilea's a fun one. That'd be really... There's so little about her to break or nuance that they can just basically let number one, really. Give her a full character. But she has to say to Pike... Yes. But she has to say to Pike... The oath of celibacy is on record, and Pike has to say, fuck's sake. That's their one F-bomb in the show. Kirk just is like... Pike's like, fuck. Then he slaps Spock. There you go. That's the slap shit. I'm going to research how old was Ilea. I have no idea.
I don't know. And yeah, the lady that played her was Indian. So.
Oh, okay. It's hard to tell with... Yeah, or general face. Huh. Yeah,
Will Wheaton appears from a wormhole and gets his eyeballs pulled out.
Damn, that's a thing. Okay, well I'll go by the age of the actor then. That's all we can kind of go by. Oh no, she died very young.
Well, not necessarily.
No,
yeah, she did.
That's all we can go on in general.
Yeah.
That's a vaguity.
It could be Ilea's mother. Yeah, there you go. Have her in there.
Yeah.
With a young Ilea.
Ooh. Yeah. That's cool. Oh yeah, TNP hasn't got a date. I always forget that. Sort of late 2270s.
Bryce, that could be the case. thought the females only shaved their heads when they had taken the oath of celibacy. Could be. I don't know. I've just seen them pictured multiple times as all being bald in comic books and such, but that's, again, beta canon, so...
Yeah, she wouldn't be old enough.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Not even close. But yeah, Aaliyah's mum. That's a good one. Or dad, either one. Devereaux, do you want to copy and paste any TOS stories directly into Stranger Worlds? Are there any stories you'd want to see just there, just retake on? Because TNG did do it as well. So did Voyager to some extent. Are there any TOS stories you just want to see sort of done again, but in their format? That's a good question.
That is a good question.
My brain goes straight to the humanoid Earth civilizations replicated. That I feel like is such a good, silly potential.
Well,
you know?
One thing I can see them doing, considering they've decanonized the animated series again, is do yesteryear with Spock going back in time and meeting his younger self, and there's a totally different crew aboard the Enterprise when he goes through the Guardian of Forever. But then he would know with the Guardian of Forever. I don't know. Because at least it worked in the animated series because they'd already been to the planet with the Guardian of Forever. That's why they were there. But
yes,
doesn't have to be the Guardian necessarily. He could just be thrown back in time and have to deal with his younger self.
Yeah. Although
the time trap would be a good one to see in live action, where the reverse a universe with like reverse aging. Everything goes backwards.
Yeah, the only problem with it's weird. Yesteryear being canon, not canon, is that Mike made.
Well, it was always considered canon. That was one of the ones that that one's canon. We're going to hang our lantern on that.
You've now got Big Spock being canon in Lower Decks, which is only in an animated series. That's canon.
Yeah. Yes. The Infinite Vulcan.
That one's canon.
Yeah. I would actually, how Sharper Than a Serpent's Tooth would be a good one to see actually on my screen as well, with Kulikan, the Mayan god ship. I'd be fine with that. I'm just looking at the animated series stuff right now. Let's go back to TOS. I don't know, there's so many. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a version of Galileo 7 where it's stranded on the shuttle's damaged on a planet. We're probably going to see something along those lines. Would be my guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, I could see them using some of, like TNG did this. They used some of the Star Trek Phase 2 scripts to create episodes. I could see them reintegrating some of those and telling them a little bit differently. But
maybe they'll do a simple time travel story where they like go back one day. Maybe do a precursor to a solar time warp. Where they just get caught in a gravity anomaly and go back by one day. So it's kind of like it is
Groundhog Day in space.
Or Groundhog Day. Just do a time loop episode. I mean, how would Spock react to, or even number one actually? Because who was funnier, Tilk or O'Neill in With Opportunity? Well, the deadpan of Tilk is really enjoyable. Yeah. So number one being the most allegorical letter to Tilk. How does number one deal with her crew when she wants to make progress with them emotionally and then they don't remember, so she'll start again and she can't? That'd be fun.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
All right, here's another one to put a wager on. Do you think there's going to be an episode where a old ship crashed, like the SS Beagle and Bread and Circuses, and the crew is like trying to survive on the planet, and some of them have been captured? I think there's going to be something like that. It's kind of a trope in TOS. Even piece of the action, the ship crashed and they found the book. And so, yeah, I think there's going to be something like that. Well, that's the kind of storytelling I want to hear from Strange New Worlds, like more TOS, inspired storylines. So.
Yeah, for sure. They want to recapture that odd vibe. And let's be honest, how many extra extra realital super beings or energy clouds? How many energy clouds are we gonna get?
Maybe they run into the Nexus for the first time.
Oh, and it fries their data recorders. Just have to.
Yeah, and then a Pike gets sucked into it and gets to find his way out. So there's actually a version of Pike in the Nexus, so you know he like.
And Whoopi comes in.
Two different.
He's like, Mr. Pike. Yes. That Nexus would be fun. I'd enjoy seeing a Nexus story. Be weird. Or even make that a series arc. So we know that Soren sort of basically got addicted to the bliss of being, which is understandable, of being a Nexus. Maybe Larn feels a Nexus and says, well, I can have peace. I don't have all the prejudice against my ancestry name there. If I go to the Nexus, I'll be at peace. I mean, that's interesting. But, guys, I think we're basically at the final mile. So, final votes in right now. If you can get a final $25, that would be much appreciated as we start to close out. We've almost hit a minimum, although Kit has obviously done well in the background, obviously, as always. So
check again to see if they send any more. But Christian Montgomery, $2. Crazy Thought, The Traveler and Crusher.
I mean, I would be fine with seeing Will Wheaton as Traveler in this season. It's silly, but in a good way.
And Kit 10K throws in. Well, I don't know if he threw in anything, but he messaged me. He said, "What about Aaliyah having a sister in Strange New Worlds?"
Older sister, yeah. Do it. Yeah. I think that'd be really fun. I'm very much for that.
Actually, it would be cool to see Carol Marcus at some point as well.
Oh, that's a big one. Yeah, that'd be. Yeah. Which, in fact, actually, the same actress would work age-wise. She was too young originally, but they all were. That's the whole point. So that would be. I mean, what a coup to get her back. Because the thing is, she was genuinely smart in the film. She genuinely succeeded in feeling smart. She hit both successfully. That'd be great to see Marcus. Maybe even she, not flirts with Spock, but I mean, she has a connection with Spock, and then leaves before she meets Kirk, and then you're like, okay.
Maybe she gives birth to David on board, because David's age.
Oh God, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. It would be way after they.
That'd be great, actually.
What? Yeah, because when did? Oh, I mean,
I'm not sure exactly, but
because he wasn't that old. And this is still way before Wrath of Khan, because that's really interesting. I'm looking this up. Maybe that's the season 2 arc, being a bad baby dadder, whatever the word would be. David Marcus. I don't want David Marcus, the American.
How many funny religions will they overturn? Your God is just a computer. Does Pike have the ability to talk a computer to death, though? That's the skill of every Starfleet captain.
Okay, he's younger than I thought, because the actor doesn't feel to me particularly young. I'm sure he was older than he was. Guess how old he was in Wrath of Khan?
The actor?
The character.
I'm going to say 20.
Oh, okay, 24.
Yeah.
Well, at least Genesis
you're surprised, so I toned it down. I would have probably guessed 28.
Yeah, I would have guessed coming on 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think we do tend to look younger as a society than we did then.
Yeah.
William Hartnell, he was younger than Peter Capaldi, looked much older than Peter Capaldi, only that many years apart, and that's all you need, etc. So the end of Discovery was 2258. And he was born 61.
Perfect. There you go.
So
Boom.
In season 3 of Strange New Worlds, if they're going year by year, he has to
can do it.
And if that's season 2,
that's the actor's age, or is that David's age?
No, that was all in universe stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, literally, that's Strange New Worlds season 2 or 3, depending. I mean, that'd be a hell of a subplot to bring him in just to meet Marcus, fall in love. I mean, that's a good reason to bring him in, Lieutenant Kirk. And it makes him not the player, because that's like a love he genuinely had and didn't go well. That is a real story to tell that you happen to have the era to play with. Wow. Oh, okay.
And he does something stupid and reckless, and she doesn't want her son being dragged
an
around the
embryo at that
galaxy
point.
with
Yeah.
him. Oh yeah, that's why she leaves, so she doesn't tell them that she's pregnant. Yeah,
I
great.
don't even know if she knows she's pregnant at the point. So she just walks away because she doesn't want to be with him at all.
Yeah. Preston M, $10.
Oh,
Just got here. Anyone mention Trelane or one of his species Q? Yes. Talked about that quite a bit actually at the beginning.
Yes.
Lots of possibilities there. And yes, Kit, I got your PayPal. Don't worry. Thank you.
But it has to be very, very specific. Okay, so here's one of 59.
But that's Kirk, though. He has nothing to do with this. Well, listen, Jericho is currently in season 2, first of all. Second of all, who cares? Somebody comes on board named Carol Marcus who's pregnant and has to give birth while she's there. No mention of Kirk. Why they wouldn't have to. And then she leaves the ship at the end of the episode for whatever, because she's only there temporarily as a scientist. Boom. It's fine.
That'll also be later season.
Yeah.
A fun thing to build into, though. Yeah. Oh, last $14, guys, if you can. Oh yeah, Gary Mitchell. Gary Mitchell would be a nice shout as well. Be a bit more depth to that character.
Yeah, right now Preston M has the last super chat slot with a $10 super chat. Anybody else want that last super chat slot? You want to snipe in? Now is the time. And yes, we could use another $15.
Cool. And yeah, like I said at the very, very start, this is the final day of pre-Stranger Worlds, and many people I'm sure are going to stay up and watch it as it goes live. So for me, I'll certainly be waiting until, and I've certainly got a lot to watch. I'm sure Picard will be 50 minutes, and this will be 50 minutes as well. Should we live debate our plan while we wait for those last $15? Since sure. I've got you, Stuart.
Sure.
Well, what do you guys want? But I think you already had an idea.
Well, the problem is I got to do my first reaction videos at night as well. So,
which don't work if you've done a full review already.
Yeah, exactly. It could just be a discussion or a hangout. It doesn't have to be a first reaction.
We could.
Our thought is we'll review one on Thursday and one on Friday, so we don't miss the bus really with like a new show waiting to Monday. Or actually, we could probably hold over Picard till Monday, regardless of how good or bad it is. But I don't know.
I think it'll depend. We could always do Friday and Saturday and make that a drunk yards Stranger Worlds review. Not a drunk yards, but like a super track drink.
Hold on, I just gotta get something. Problem is, this weekend's Mother's Day.
Hi, Stuart. Welcome back. Welcome back to Trekyards, Stuart.
Hi. Yeah. This weekend is Mother's Day on the 8th. And I'm not sure when the kids are coming over and when we're doing family stuff.
Is it Canadian Mother's Day, American Mother's Day? Which Mother's Day is it? Or are they both the same?
Both.
Did you share?
Canadian and
because as we always say, you're late by 2 months. I've long since had mine.
We're not though.
We had it first, as always.
But yeah, so I don't know what's going on. I know that Sylvia's family wants to do something on the Sunday, and I'm not sure when my kids are coming over for I don't know. That's why this weekend was kind of iffy for me on that. But
yeah, because the problem is, and obviously I'll be editing for a lot of the weekend, and obviously the problem is, guys, if you don't show up, no super chats, then we just better do on a different day, etc. So it's tricky. What days work best for you guys?
Hold on, I'll be right back. Just 1 second.
Oh, okay, Tim, that's good. Yes, Captain Terrell will be a fun one, although quite much. Well, yeah, Kirk younger. Charlie. But they don't have much character though, so it's hard to kind of go into depth with them. Let's see. No, Cryohazard. That'd be good. That'd be a good story. I'd watch that. Yeah. Yeah. So we've got 2 big shows to review.
Yeah, I think we might just stick with Friday and Monday, honestly, because then I can do my Thursday review of whatever one we're reviewing on Friday, and then I do late night Friday one, which is my first reaction to the one we do on Monday, regardless.
I think we'll reserve the right. If Picard
Yes.
is amazing, then that's worth ending the zone, and we'll still be videos on. But if Strange New World blows out of the water entirely, which when we did watch the Discovery and Picard back to back, it was Picard season 1 was like whoop, episode 1 was like whoa, and Discovery was like yeah. So there was a clear winner of like, well, this wins. So I think we'll work out. Obviously, you're gonna get either one in the next 4 days. You can get videos on both in the next 4 days anyway. Spoiler free for both as well. Great, more editing because we do it for season openers and season enders. So that'll be 2 spoiler free, 2 spoiler film. They'll probably both be out tomorrow. I think would be the way of doing that. Yeah.
Do we do them for finales? I didn't think we did spoiler freeze for finales.
We do.
Oh. All right.
Well, when they're interesting enough, I should say.
Perfect.
We didn't do it for Discovery
because we won't have to do one for Picard then. Good. All right. Eric Martin is going for that last super chat slot with $5. Thank you so much, Eric. I liked episodes where they come across an alien ship rather than a planet. Yes, totally agree. Garth going nuts could be their M5 story. Hey, that'd be great. Garth of Izor goes crazy and steals a starship. They have to hunt him down. They capture him. They send him to the 10-5 colony. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of Lower Decks. We did a end of season 2, spoiler free for some reason.
Because Lower Decks, and we loved everything about it.
Yes.
Was that the movie one?
No. Season 2 was the happy. Well, it was the end with Freeman. I can't spoil it. Although you were upstairs currently, because I'm looking and you were still in your. Everything is being broken, etc.
Oh, that's the other thing too. Yeah. All that work that still has to be done in there is going to be happening the next week or 2. So joy, happy, joy.
Pre-recorded content, real important.
But yeah, so another $5 would be awesome to end out. Oh, there we go. Preston M, $10. Here's the rest of the 15 you requested. Thank you.
But Charlie does say, can't believe there's any way you wouldn't cover Stranger World of Picard. Come on, honestly, is there even a choice? Yes, because Terry's back for writing the final episode, and he saved season 1's quality and raised season 2's first episode, so, the quality writer is back finally. So, it's their thing to lose. And they might lead into season 3, so might get some season 2 cast. They filmed, like I've said, they filmed seasons 2 and 3 back-to-back, literally day to day. So Patrick walked off set of season 2, walked on set of season 3 the next day. And so if LeVar Burton, say, is in season 3, episode 1, let's do is come in 2 days earlier, and now he's in season 2, episode 10. And I'm assuming season 1 legacy just kind of like bring us back in, even just on the view screen at the end saying, Admiral Picard, we need you. Beverly, is everything okay? No, Jean-Luc, it's your son. What? Something like that.
Kit 10K, I'd like to see the crash constitution with the Enterprise from the near future. Pike and his crew have to avoid the crash as one of the time traveling episodes they could do. Yes, absolutely love that.
Fantastic.
See a ship from orbit, they scan it, realize it's the Enterprise in exactly 46 hours or something.
Yeah,
46 hours from then.
Perfect. Charlie comments back against it. I mean, if your numbers right, Stranger Worlds will get a lot more views, right? I mean, Picard's got more views than Stranger Worlds constantly. Less as time goes on, but it got way more views than Stranger Worlds. I mean, this has been not so great, so views-wise. So I mean,
once the product's out, though, we'll see. I mean,
yeah, we'll see.
The first couple episodes of Picard were amazing. So,
yep, they saved the rest of our month, but it's yeah, pendulum swing, eh? We'll see. Yeah. But then, obviously, very quickly, unlike Discovery, it'll be just Stranger Worlds will get full-on treatment. So, so yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll let you guys know what's going on as far as our scheduling goes.
But I think either way, we will both watch Picard, then review Picard, then watch Stranger Worlds, then review that, and then be tired.
Yes.
And then probably the Friday, because then I have to do my prep work for the episodes, and then on Friday we'll just content, and then it'll be coming out over the next, week.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, guys. So thank you for joining us for this one. Come up with some good ideas. Hopefully we'll see some of them.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'd like to thank you guys for hanging out with us. So.
And enjoy Stranger Worlds in either a few hours or one day. Enjoy.
Yeah. So until then, I'm Captain Foley.
And I'm Connor Kongs.
Yes.